Hello, good evening, and a merry Friday evening to you all. I'm Chris Hughes from Rebound on UpStreamedia's YouTube and Facebook platforms. Tonight's the Lynch quarterfinal draw. I'm excited to be joined by one of the sponsors, Max Rossi from Lynch, the marketing director. Welcome, Max. How are you this evening?
I'm very well, thank you, Chris. Thanks for having us here tonight. It's really exciting to be part of this. It's the cusp of a really exciting moment in the league, and I'm very excited to be here this evening.
We're excited to have you on, and it's great to have you guys involved in British basketball. I know a lot of hard work's gone on behind the scenes to put on one of the most spoke about competitions actually this side of the summer. So it's great to have you on. I personally, I'd love to learn a bit more about Lynch. Just say we've all seen it, the name of the tournament, obviously the branding on every live patch basketball for England, and I'd love to learn a bit more. So tell me a little bit more about Lynch, Max.
For sure. Lynch Plant Hire and Haulage is a family-owned business that was launched in 1980 by Liam Lynch. Liam is the first L in the L Lynch, so that's where the L comes from. Liam started out in 1980 with one excavator, and he grew to what is now a nationally recognized leader within plant hire, haulage, and transport services for the construction industry. We work a lot with highways and rail and construction for both commercial and residential. So it's very, very different to basketball, but we have a real national coverage. So for us, it's really exciting to be involved in a sport that is also, a national sport. We're at Lynch. We're super excited about being involved in basketball. We also sponsor a football club. And for us, this is really about engaging with the community and, raising awareness of a great sport as well, because basketball is it's a really exciting sport to watch and to be involved in.
And I believe it's also an exciting time for the company, isn't it? 40 years you guys been around. So how's that been? What do we see from Lynch in the future?
Wow, that's a great question. We're in the 40th year. This year we launched a new website to help our customers and our supply chain to really engage with us. And the next couple of years are really about technology, telematics, machine control, and really coming up with those innovative products and services. So what you can expect to see with us is a really exciting advancement in the industry. So the opportunity now is to get the next generation of people in, really, getting the youngsters involved in construction, getting young adults involved in construction through apprenticeships, to what can be a really, really fantastic career for people.
And I think even though, yes, they're separate entities, basketball, construction, and they share similar goals about getting the next generation growing both industries. How did they marry together? Because I know we spoke a bit off air, but it was sort of like a middleman. It wasn't just a simple on the phone. There was connections here and there. Give us a little insight of how the connections were made from Lynch to British basketball.
Of course, yes. So as I said, Lynch is a family business. So the brothers Merrill and Rob Lynch, they have long-standing connections with the local MP, Mike Penning. Mike, Rob and Merrill got together and they spoke about this opportunity, and we felt like it was going to be a really nice fit. So we talk a lot about mental health in the business, and we know that sport and keeping active is a big part of that. So it's a stigma that we talk about, and basketball is it's a really physical sport. So we thought that those two things would really go quite nicely together, and also the opportunity to engage with all these different national teams. It really fits. I feel like it fits really nice. So very, very grateful for MP Mike Penning for supporting us in that.
Indeed, shout out to MP Mike Penning if he's listening or watching, or a selection of his. I'm sure British Basketball are really grateful for business like yourself being involved, helping us continue to put the game on. Obviously, tonight we're talking about the Lynch Trophy, which obviously was pivotal in providing. People watching will do the draw shortly, but I thought I'd just start by explaining how the draw works. So say, unless you're told, sometimes these things be lost. So how the draw works, so we've had 4 hubs. We've had the Solent, the Loughborough, Oakland, and the Marstroff hub. The top 2 teams for each hub will come into this draw. They'll play a one-off knockout quarter-final tie, which we played in December. Now, to always hear you guys say, well, Chris, some of the games we postponed with COVID. Well, what we do in that instance is we'll devise the position, and then once those fixtures have been played, they'll then know who they're playing in the quarter-final. The draw itself is an open draw, so that by definition means that if you played someone in the group and you both got through, you can still play each other in the quarterfinals. And yeah, so the draws we played in December, we'll do the draw shortly. Now, a quick explanation of what balls to look out for, depending on what club you support. Max, you want to sort of show the balls while I'm talking? That could be quite a little good visual, and we'll get into explain it. So while Matt's doing that, you can see he's got 3 balls here with the letters A, B, and C. So A will denote Team Solar Kestrels. B, Thames Valley Cavaliers. C is the, let me just double check before I make is the Loughborough hub, I believe. Yep. And D is the Maestroff hub. Thank you very much. Max also has 4, and he's put in a little lovely Lynch tote bag. We'll see that shortly as he. Thank you, Max. So as I said, obviously A we know is Team Solar Kestrels. B we know is Thames Valley Cavaliers. The other 2 hubs is a little bit more complicated. A neutral would say probably Loughborough and Derby may have that advantage, already having a 2-0 record, but it depended how the outcome of those games go. We could have a 3-way tie. If it's a 2-way tie for position, it's head-to-head supply. If it's a 3-way tie, it's points differential. I see Max ready. He's got balls 1 to 4. Balls 1 to 4. 1 is either Worthing or Barking, who play tomorrow. 2 is Hemel Storm, who the casualty of that late buzzer beater lost its Lewis champion. And then 3 and 4 are the other 2 groups. And I'm looking forward to the draw. I'm looking forward to see who comes out. Thank you very much. As you see, they're Max got a bag to his left, right as you look at it. That's the bag. Day to day, he's holding up all of the numbers, giving them a good shake. Okay. So when we do the draw, Max will draw 1 from his left, which is the home side. See the team plays first. They will play a team in the second bag. That will be the visiting team. So it's a quick refreshment. Without further ado, Max, would you like to pick out the first team from the...
Okay, so I've got it.
Yep.
What have we got? B.
So the first team drawn out is Thames Valley Cavaliers. They will have a home game in December. And if you could pull one out from the other hat with the numbers 1 to 4, and we'll see who they play. Drum roll.
Got it. Are we ready?
Yep, we're ready. That's ball number 3. So that's going to be Loughborough, Hoods, or Charlwood. Thank you. So that's Thames Valley Cavaliers versus Loughborough, Hoods, or Charlwood. That's going to be a really interesting game. Should we go for the next one, Max? So out there, yeah. Who's going to be the next home team? Yep.
Okay, ready?
Yeah, we're ready.
This is C.
So again, now this might sound quite confusing, guys. Again, it's the same 3 teams I just mentioned who are playing away. So Loughborough, Nottingham, or Charlwood, whoever comes first in that group, will host So we have spent no expense on sound effects here. I hope you guys enjoyed this production.
Number four.
Number 4. So that'll be the second place team in the Marsgrove Hub of Derby, Bradford, or Marsgrove. There's so many different permutations there. So it's Loughborough, Nottingham, or Charlwood versus a possible Derby, Bradford, or Marsgrove. Right, back to the home team for the third time. So we've had Thameslink Cavaliers versus what have we had now? Loughborough, Nottingham, or Charlwood, and then we also had Charlwood, Nottingham, or I don't know who's next team. A. So that's Team Solent Kestrels. They'll be at home too. So it's 50-50. It's either going to be ball 1 or ball 2. So we'll find out. Is it Worthing or Barking, or is oh no, to be a few teams actually. Apologies. It's our first time doing this. Who's team? That is ball number 2. So it's our Team Solent Kestrels Hemel Storm. I think that's a very exciting game. Team Solent Kestrels unbeaten in the tournament versus Hemel Storm, who, minus that Lewis champion buzzer beater, would have been unbeaten in the Lynch Trophy. That's going to be an amazing game. I hope both sides are excited for that one.
And then the final one. Yeah. Just so we display them. Oh, I lost it.
Yeah, of course.
No, got it. Oh, other way around.
1. That's fine. And I love the Lynch golf ball there. Thank you. So, to confirm, that's the last one. That's going to be the first place team in the Marsgrove Hub, which is either Derby, Bradford, or Marsgrove. They will host Worthing or Barking. That could potentially be a very long road trip for one of those two teams. Thank you, Max, for coming on. Really appreciate coming to the draw. Thank you again for your company sponsored draw. Before you go, can you just give us a plug where we can find you? How where can we find you on the web?
Of course, thank you very much for asking. Our website is l-lynch.com. We've got a really cool news section in there. It's really visual. And as I said, the website, we've just launched it. So if you guys want to go and have a look, give us some feedback. We're always open to that. And we're also on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. So just search for Lynch Plant Hire or L Lynch Plant Hire in Hallage, and you'll find us.
I say, if you forget that, I'll post the link underneath the show where to find them. They've been great supporting this British Master. Thank you again for coming on. I wish we'll chat soon. Take care, okay?
Thanks for the opportunity, and good luck to all the teams.
Thank you for that.
Cheers.
Okay. So now we've got a Bearden and Ishmael Fontaine coming on. Welcome, guys. I think Ishmael's just logged on as we speak. Bearden, firstly, welcome. How are you, my friend? I see you got your London Lions / Barking Abbey new gear on. How's things been your end? Oh, we can't hear you at the moment, sorry, my friend. Try now. I think I just had you come to the end.
We've been preparing for our game on Sunday throughout the entire week.
Yeah, so that's the go home or go free game, isn't it? It's all on the line versus Worthing. And yeah. I don't know if you guys heard, so we had the draw just before you came on, but yourself or Worthing will have a trip to Derby, Bradford, or Marsgrove, depending who comes first in that group. Have you got a preference, or is it more about who's nearest, or what's your thoughts?
If I had to choose a preferred team, I may choose Myerscough, just because I know a few of the guys over there, and bragging rights would be fun to have.
Yeah, I'd see why you'd say that. Eden, Ishmael, I hope you're well.
I'm good, man. I'm just going to get my flip-flops on to make myself look really tall. Boom.
Yeah.
Look at that. Look at that. Hello, Governor. You all right?
Yeah, not too bad. I was seeing your post earlier. You make a good salesman. I was almost pitching to buy the CBD oils you were promoting earlier. I was like, Oh,
Listen,
I might
mate,
get those actually.
my whole back's relaxed. My whole hamstrings, my calf
Yeah.
muscles, gorgeous, mate. Like
If
something
you,
orange. It's
yeah,
like a nice
if
flavour
you
as well. You
missed
put it in
it,
the top of your teeth.
Ishmael was doing his best Boy sales pitch. He was like, "It's none of this, Sam. It's this the real deal. I have to do you a special deal. They're Chuck and Martin. You're special." Yeah,
It
man. I
was
was like
Black
saying,
Friday, so I had to do something.
you have to do yeah. Well, I say it's L Lynch Trophy quarterfinal Friday today. I don't know if you caught the draw, Ishmael, but it was just before you came on.
Literally, I was just in a chip shop waiting for my roast chicken. I couldn't believe it, and I was like trying to watch it, and it was mad. So I don't know what happened. Could you fill me in?
I'd also fill you in. So obviously, you guys are playing tomorrow for that second place spot in the Solar
Oh,
Hub.
you mean Sunday? Because if it's tomorrow, I'm in trouble. But you
Sunday,
mean
yeah, sorry,
Sunday, right?
Sunday. Yeah, Sunday. Sorry. Gosh, been a busy week. I've had tons of shows, tons of try and
Mate,
get
you're
ready
doing
for
well.
tonight. Yeah, you guys will travel to Derby, Bradford, or Marsgrove. So you had to pick one of those. What would you pick?
The closest one. Who's the closest?
Closest one. We're joking. Yeah.
Go on, right. Who's the closest? Derby. Is
Oh.
Derby the closest?
Probably just about. It's not
Mate.
much in it if it isn't. But
I mean, Derby.
yes.
Derby, we owe them one as well, so that'd be good.
Yeah.
They're a very good team to play as well. I think I'd like actually their matchup with the BA Lions. I actually want to see that because that would be a good little game. Like the way them two teams play, like I'd really
Yeah.
enjoy that actually to watch. I like basketball as a spectacle. I know it's my job, but I actually do like watching all the other teams play. So yeah.
No, I hear you there. I enjoy a lot. But I was saying the other day, if it's an NBL game on YouTube, I'm there, deck chair, or just my lounger, I'm there. Just to recap, if people weren't aware, I mean, there's quite a lot of permutations. One of the big games there was Solent Hemel. In the Loughborough and the Marshall Hub, as we were saying, it's a bit of confusing because it's with so many games postponed, it could go either way. And just to clarify, people at home, if it's a two-way head, it's on head-to-head. If it's three-way, it's a points differential. So Derby probably looking favourable that group. They're high scoring, but they've also lots of points against. I think it's too early to start getting the maths books out planning. I think a few more games to be played first.
Derby dropped a game, didn't they?
Not in the Lynch. That was in the league. So
Okay.
same weekend they played Newcastle over twice per weekend. Dropped one in the league. Got revenge in Lynch, and Milestoff got to play Newcastle Derby. So that's gonna be a tough game. I kind of think because Derby are 2-0, they might be the most likely ones you play, but it's still possible that it's a Milestoff or it to be a 3-0 tie, and it's anyone's game.
I like Maestro. They're sassy, you know. I like them.
And a bit, you've been there. You say yourself you'd quite like to play Maestroff. Who are some of the guys who you'd especially enjoy going up against? You say you bragging rights there. Are there any guys in particular you think, oh yes, definitely got to get one over them?
I'd say Franklin would be a good one to play against. I haven't played against him in a few years. Great Osabor would also be a good one to play against. It'll just be fun in general to see because not a lot of the teams in the Lynch Trophy are our age group, so it'll be fun to see what happens.
I mean, literally, you could see 3 teams at quarterfinals. Just would have a chance. They're 1-0. They could easily get that first or second spot. The games go. I felt a bit odd draw tonight. Like, so it's pretty much after tomorrow. We'll know who's first and second. Oakland's Hub, we know who's first, second, but the other's a bit of a minefield. I was like, yeah, so this number is, I was like, Loughborough, Hurds, or Chalmers. I typically hear both out at the same time, so I was like, and poor Max doing the numbers, he wanted to move on next. I was like, Max, I haven't said the names yet, mate. There's still another 2 names, so I'm short-handed. I didn't even say Nottingham, McDonald's, Hurds. I was like, Nottingham, Loughborough, Chalmers, no, next one. But obviously, I got you guys here as well to talk a bit about your game, and Ishmael, what? So tell people. So we obviously got the game Sunday. What are your thoughts heading into the game? Are you guys raring to go?
We're always raring to go. It's all about our identity and playing Thunder basketball, to be honest. Not to sound like some cliche geezer on ESPN, but that's honestly the situation we're in. And just trying to put talented pieces together. There's a lot of talent on our team. So putting all those pieces together and getting them to do what they want to do and to Thunder basketball strengths is going to be really, really important. I really like barking. I'm really proud of Varone. Yourself, Aboderin, I saw you hit a couple threes. I see you like you're wiry. I like the way you play. The point guard. He won the point guard you guys have. He won Battling the Capital, the MVP for Battling the Capital. He's awesome. You've got the kid from Apollo, the Dutch kid. So they've got a great team. And I do tell the guys, like, listen, man, they got a good team. Like, we have to be ready. It's not like, and they've got, some older guys. You've got a bigger, older presence. You've got Jamie Hayes. You've got Will Ashby. So they're very, that's the most balanced BA Lions team I've seen in a long time.
Yeah, I think that's fair. From the outside, I think it's probably the most talented one too. I think actually in terms of what the potential is there for you guys. I think you showed in that game against Loughborough. Bid, what was that game like against Loughborough? Because it's sort of, I guess there's a bit of bragging rights there going there because they're, a team similar to yours, a college/university team. What was that game like?
Well, I feel like we handled that game towards the end better than we did at the start, because I think it was by 4 minutes into halftime we were down by 20, and coach was really getting onto us to play the way we play in practice and stick to our defensive identity, because we didn't start off the game playing the type of defense we usually play. So we had to turn it up towards the end and get ourselves out of the hole we dug ourselves into.
Yeah, no, I see you guys did really well, got the win. And what do you think about Worthing going in? Like, Ishmael was definitely read the stout about you guys. What do you guys expect from Worthing in return?
Well, we expect to have to play extremely good defense. They're quite offensively strong. They've got multiple threats inside from Crawford, Cam, Ishmael. Everyone on their team is a threat, and we're going to have to really keep ourselves focused the entire game, because any lapses in concentration, they'll most likely capitalize on, especially with Zaire, most likely will capitalize on any offensive lapses in concentration, as he likes to steal the ball a lot.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to the game. It's obviously one of those days to be streaming Basketball England live. Are you guys, am I right thinking about you guys won't be heading to Solent Hub, or is it still going to be at Solent on Sunday, the game?
I don't think it's
I
at
think
Solent.
the Sunday game's at us, right?
Yeah, that's what I
we're
was
coming
thinking.
to you guys. We're coming. That's my ends though. I'm from Plaistow, so I don't mind coming down to Barking, man. That's my hood. You know what I'm saying? I love that place. But yeah, we can't play at Solent, unfortunately. That'd have been nice for me. A little lion.
So yes, it's 2:00 Sunday, streamed on Basketball England. Shout out to Gary in the comments. Hi to you. I hope you're well. Gary does a great graphics for you guys at Worthing.
That's my guy right there. That's my brother.
Yeah, he does a great graphics, and I think he's inspired myself to do more myself. So yeah, shout out to Gary and everyone out there creating content. I thought as well. So we mentioned your day. We've recapped the draw. I thought I'd get your predictions on the other games of the league. So a sort of a general one. So we've got Derby versus Reading. I'll start with you, Ish. A quick brief description of what to expect from that game and who do you think will win that one?
I'm telling you, that's two good teams. Reading, they run really well. They got Reece Pinnock. This guy flies up the gym. They've got Sam Talawasi. He wants to guard 1 to 5. He's a great leader for them. He's shooting the ball really well as well. They've got Lewis. I can't pronounce his name. The Canadian. He's decent. Ocean Williams. I don't know if they have him. So I might go Derby because I think Ocean Williams is hurt. because I watched the game at Hemel and he played 3 minutes. I don't
Yeah,
know
yeah.
if he's okay. I know Ben Dixon. I don't know his ankle is yeah, he needs a bionic ankle basically. He needs to sort that out. So it's a lot of pressure on Reece Pinnock, on Leon Francis, who's a beast, Sam Grant. So I have to give it to Derby only because these guys have a lot of injuries.
It's worrying because this is the second time Ocean has been injured with his. Ocean's been injured with his. I believe it's the same injury he had in the Lynch Trophy because he missed a bit of the Lynch Trophy too, but that's unconfirmed. Abeardon, who you predicted for that game, Derby or Reading?
From what I've seen of what Derby are capable of, I think I'd probably inch it towards Derby as well. But it all turns it will all come down to who comes to play on the day, because you can have the better squad, but if you don't want it or don't want to play, someone will come and take it from you.
I think that's very true. But the other game, sort of in time orders, Leicester versus TVC, and I'll start with you, Abeardon. What do you think we can expect to see in that one?
I feel Leicester have a very strong team, and their point guard is really good, and they're quite offensively balanced. So I'm looking forward to this matchup myself. But I think I might have to give it to Leicester. To be fair,
Leicester.
I might have to give it to Leicester. I feel they can get it done.
Yeah, they've definitely got a few wins on the belt already, and it'll be a tough game. Obviously at home, maybe home court advantage. What are you saying, Ish?
I love Leicester's toughness. I mean, Kane King, that's my brother. That's my brother. I got his jersey. He thinks he's getting his jersey. He thinks I'm going to send it to him. That's my jersey now, Kane King. That belongs to me. I'm sorry. That's my jersey. I'm wearing it to the carnival. But their toughness is amazing. They had Carl Pearson on Harrison Gamble last week or whatever it was. We're talking about 5'9" versus 6'10", and he was giving him problems. He couldn't really score in the post against him. Big, strong, short dude. I hate them kind of stocky ice cube dudes. But to be honest, TVC with Blaine Freckleton, one of the best scorers in the league. They just signed a new American. They got Tom Martin. They got Hakeem Silla, who's a stat sheet stuffer. I don't see, without the depth that Leicester are lacking depth. I know they've got Leon Henry. I know they've got Kane King. I know they've got Kyle Pearson. I know they've got the shooter, my brother, man, who carried BBL teams to the playoffs. Martin Gale, I know they have these great pieces, but without the size, I don't think they can cover everything against TBC. So I've got to give it to TBC.
TBC, I think you both made some really good, valid points, and I think it's going to be a really exciting game. I think both of you definitely on the board for your predictions there. They both backed different people, but I think you fought your case as well. Next up, Solent versus Newcastle. Ish, what do you think we can expect from that game?
What we've seen, the only team that I think really played well against Solent is the Lions. They're the only team for me who've played well against Solent, who've moved the ball well, who've attacked well, everything. So if Charles Smith is playing for Newcastle, we're talking about the GOAT. I'm just letting the youngin know. Aboderin, I don't know. I'm going to move my screen so I can see you. My guy, this dude is the GOAT. I'm not playing with you. Big gut, bald head, gets buckets though. He's the GOAT. If he's there, the game's going to be interesting. If he is there. But that's a good matchup for both teams.
Abeardon, have you got any thoughts on that game? Both teams unbeaten in the league.
Having watched the games Solent have played, and also having played them myself, I'm gonna have to edge it towards Solent, because they're just very well rounded and they have a lot of depth. Everyone on that team can play, and even if their starters get tired, they can go to their bench. And they have a lot of players that I know are good and haven't even really been used in this cup. So I feel like Solent have a lot more to bring to the table.
Sorry, Ish, I know you did say the team. Did you say you're backing Solent in that one, or did you say Newcastle?
I'm not backing either of them. I'm not backing. I couldn't do that. Like, you know,
No.
we don't do them
No.
things. But
You're abstaining your vote.
Yeah. I'm saying if this happens, this could happen. If this happens, this also could happen. But I'm not giving people wins. We don't do that.
No, that's fine. And then Oakland's versus Hemel. That's obviously the NBL live. That's going to be the big game of Basketball England's show. Bearden, what are your thoughts about that one?
Having had to prepare for a Hemel game that we didn't get to play, I would probably go with Hemel, because I believe, based on what we would have to prepare for, I feel like they may give Oakland's a bit more trouble than they can handle.
Ish, what do you think? You said if this happened, if Charles is playing this happen, if this would happen, I'd love to hear that sort of opinion on Hemel. What are some of the deciding factors in the brains of Mr. Fontaine?
Well, the great Drew Spinks is a very, very good coach, a very good players coach. Jack Burnell under Drew Spinks has been playing awesome basketball. They've got Mike, the kid from Rutgers who can go. Greg Polion. They're actually kind of built like Solet, so that's gonna be a very good game when them two play each other. But I just think when you lose a player like Evan Walsh and you don't replace him, and he scores 33 points and the team still loses, it has to be a culture change. Something has to happen. They've got some good guys though. They have some great guys at Oakland who in some years are going to be very good players. But yeah, Hemel, they're ready.
It to be grim reading, yeah. I go with that as well. I think especially how Hemel played in versus that first 10, 15 minutes versus Reading, they meant business, and they're definitely playing with style to sort of. It's almost like they're warming up for that Solent game. I say, look, okay, if Solent hit 30 points a quarter of us, what can we do? Can we match that? They seem they can. It's whether on defensive end, I think that's going to be a good game to watch. But I think what impressed me with Oakland is, yes, they might not have all the parts, like we were saying, not replacing even Walsh, but Toby looks like a talent for future. John Santiago is a ball in his own regard, and they've got the pieces. It's just about baby steps, and actually, it's probably a really good season to do that because obviously we've not got the relegation. You can afford to do that. You don't need to go out and buy Evan Walsh replacement if you're not challenging per se.
I mean, this is a process, though, and a lot of people say, "Yeah, there's no relegation." But listen, you have a process of taking L's the whole year. You think you ain't taking L's next year? That's like you have a credit card, right? But you ain't got no money. Young fella, don't get no credit card without no money. I'm gonna tell you that right now. You got a credit card. You ain't got no money. You ain't got no money in your account. At some point, couple of one's gonna come knocking your door for that money. So it don't matter. You're just delaying the inevitable if you don't start figuring out how to win games and how to build a roster to win games. I understand that there is no relegation and no promotion. I fully understand that. But you ain't gonna go, oh, this is a year we can just play in. No, because next year you're getting your butt cracked again. If you don't realize, like you see how Bark and Abbey have done. They said, look, we're gonna go to Holland and get one of them guys. We're gonna get this big kid who can pick and pop. We're gonna go get some Jamie Hayes, and we're gonna get Will Ashby and guys who play pro in Italy, and they know what they're doing. They ain't going, oh well, so we could just play our young guy. No one's doing that. That's not the way to do things. Young fella, check your credit. I'm telling you, you're gonna be a good player growing up. Check your credit. Make sure your credit's online. My little sister's an actress. She just got a really big role. I called her. I said, listen, well done for getting your role. No credit cards. Yeah, I told her that.
Yeah.
You look after yourself, man. These people out here struggling. You don't want to be out here. But couple of one knocking on your door for your Air Max 90s. No. You don't want that.
I just vouch that. Don't get a credit card if you don't have the credit. Definitely, that's a very true
this
statement there.
This is facts.
Yeah, it's life facts.
This is facts.
It's not just a basketball show here, guys. We're giving life facts here.
Life skills 101.
Skills 1-to-1. Business plans. Pyramid schemes. I'm sure we have all the lot in here at some point. I think Nottingham are kind of looking at the same Oakland, giving the kids a chance. They got Loughborough. What do you think about that fixture, Ishmael?
Nottingham have a mesh as well. They kind of built like Barking Lions, but without the like Barking Lions. Like the way I look at them, they have like if I believed in a star system, I don't. But if I believe in a star system like America, they've got more of the 5-star recruits. So Nottingham don't really have that. They have a good pathway because they have the university and they have the college, and the college is coached by a really good player. But it's again, you have to figure out a way to win these games. And last year they had 2 Americans. They were I like they were good. They won some big games. But it's not about. I haven't got a problem with playing the young guys. I have not got a problem with that. But give them a direction and a culture. Like you're playing in a professional league. Like you need to be. If you're preparing to go to using this as a stepping stone, that's fine. But you're not just coming out here and it's not no. What's the guy who trains people before the draft? That's not what this is. How it is. You got to learn how to play this game. So it's okay if you're going to use the young guys, but like you have to win, play to win.
I think that's a fair statement, and I like what you're saying. How you sort of can't just rest on your laurels. Just the other teams to be back for more next year, right? Because we all want to be in the playoffs. You all want to be winning titles. It's almost like a year to work out your prey, but also feast and get better. Because if you're not getting better, someone else is, aren't they? Abearden, what's your take on this Nottingham Loughborough game? Obviously, you played Loughborough. Do you think Nottingham should get the win, or is it going to be quite a tough day? What do you think they need to do to get the win?
I agree a lot with what Ishmael said on the fact that you can have all the young guys, but it's really it's more about who wants to be there, who's hungry to be there. Because I know I can say this for my teammates. We're probably seen as one of the younger teams, but we don't see it that way. We see it as this is where we need to be to get to the next level. So when we look at these games, we have to look at them in a way that where we have to see this as there's no longer a separation. Everyone is our age. Everyone is going to get treated the same on the court. If the guard comes up to you and thinks you're a mismatch, you're a mismatch. So he's not going to sugarcoat it. He's not going to give you a chance. So I feel like if Nottingham come into the game with the energy they need to, it can be a good game. But Loughborough are a very well-balanced team, and they can really work together when they get going.
Yeah, I think that's fair. And I think it's really exciting league. I think it's probably one of the most competitive we've seen in the NBL in recent years. Obviously, to recap what we said, obviously, you guys giving your views on the matchups this weekend. We've got your game on Sunday at Barking, 2 p.m. Basketball England. Still got a bit more time for the next gesture. I thought I'd just talk a bit about how this week's been to you in terms of the run-up. I know you probably won't give too much away, but Abearden, what's training looked like for Barking, BA London Lions this week? What have you guys been able to achieve with what's going on in the background, and how's that week been for you?
I'd say training this week has been we focused a lot more on the technical aspects of our game. We've focused more on increasing intensity while also trying to get better at the slower parts of basketball and our half-court sets, and just really also anchor our defense for the upcoming game so that we know what we're coming up against and we know what we're going to do.
And Ish, you say at the start of the show, but for you, for whatever, it's about getting all those star pieces cohesive, making the most of the talent you've got to display. How have this week been in terms of building on that? What sort of work have you doing training to help get you to your goals?
Well, this week was a great week of practice. You know, we shot the ball a lot. We worked on intricacies in automatics and offense. We worked on a little bit of defense. You know, Zaire bought me some flip flops. Big up Zaire. I'm wearing them right now. Actually, look at that, suede ties.
Oh,
flip flops. Look at that. I'm still waiting for my hoodie from you. I'm still waiting for my rebound hoodie. It will be all over Instagram, mate. You get me one of those hoodies. What you're wearing right now? I want one of them
t-shirt.
in a medium.
T-shirt.
In a medium.
Yeah, I'll get you a medium. Go on then.
I need a medium. People keep on buying me large. I'm skinny. I need a medium. Anyway, yeah, we had a great practice this week. It was really good.
He's got me out of a t-shirt, hasn't he?
Yeah,
Sorry,
I need one of those. Great as well. I've got so much shoes to go with that t-shirt. But anyway,
yeah,
we're working on just getting better as a team, you know. And one thing that's really hard about losing with this group is we love each other. We're really cool off the court. You know, I've been on teams where I couldn't stand my teammates, and that's not the issue we have here. So, you know, that's it. We've also got a new shiny kit this week. We're probably gonna have a new shiny kit next week. I got me a little bag with my name on it. So it's been a really exciting week of practice, actually. Yeah.
My size is large, Ishmael. So I'm sure we do a swap deal. Get me a large one, and I'll give you a medium.
Listen,
rebound.
If that's what we're doing, I've got you. I've got that in there.
Yeah, we'll do it.
It's in my little. It's in my cubbyhole. That's yours, and then I get one of them.
Yeah,
sweet
deal.
ass deal. If I don't get my shirt, I might
dealing.
have to drag you on Judge Rinder. You saw Judge Rinder, you know, daytime television.
Yeah. Well, I think you set me up there. So obviously, guys watching this second time wearing this lovely T-shirt, but always. Sorry, I get myself put back in the stream now. A bit amateur hour. So it's British basketball rebound. We've brought to the camera. Todd West, you've done this like 100 times. Lovely, but always balling. Got my brand rebound. Got the little logo. British basketball. And actually,
it's
lovely. It's lovely, isn't it? And the exciting thing is, depending which team goes through this weekend, I've teamed up with Always Balling to do colorways. So we're doing a colorway of each of the 8 teams in the quarterfinal. So
that's
the
tough.
I know the designs are lovely, but I'm not about money grabbing. All the money, but all the proceeds from it will go to Mind Charity. I think at this point in time, loads of people struggling with mental health out there. It's such big. I mean, I'm honest myself. I've had my highs and lows go for this. Highs being on shows like this, but you get your low moments too. And I think I definitely want to do something to help with that charity. But they look really good. I've seen the Solent one. It's black, but with like red Solent. Then basketball on this side. Worthing looks quite fire too. Those BA London lines depends which one of you guys go through. No pressure, guys. You know that's what you're playing for.
Now the game's got new heat to it now. Free merch. Let's do it.
I know. And then the others got like the team names, but obviously their colours. I think Team C's black and gold. Hemel's obviously the Hemel colours. I'm really excited, but I hope you guys get behind it because I say, A, it's altruistic. We're raising money for charity. B, getting my name out there on, you know, of course we can't be at games, but you know, at home, I got a rebound shirt on. Yeah, that's cool. Whatever floats everyone's boat. Anyway, thank you both. You've both been great sports coming on. I really enjoy you guys coming on, and good luck on Sunday. Obviously, one of you guys goes home, but I wish you both success and look forward to team track for you guys as the season goes on. Thanks for coming on. Have a good night, chaps, and stay safe.
Thank you.
Be safe.
Same to you.
I will. All right. Next up, we've got Andre Rissell. Evening, Andre. How are you doing, my friend?
I'm good. You're right.
Yeah. How's Marley? I saw him. You were trying to sort of get him more in tune with your family on the court and your family on the third kind. Is he all right?
Yeah. I need to get him out actually, so you might be able to meet him real quick.
Oh, awesome. So, if people who don't know, I'm sure that's a minority. Andre's a bird enthusiast with his Marley, making appearances on the modelling. Hello, Marley. Welcome to the show. Oh, yeah, you said well. Oh, it's great you got him, mate. Probably teach your company, and I see your Instagram stories taking him out for walks and all sorts. So it's great to see.
Yeah. He's basically like a dog, really.
How long you had him, mate?
I've had him for about maybe he's 7 months now. So not long.
Not long. And have you always had pets, or is this like your first, or?
I've had a dog before when I was younger, but this is like my first pet that's actually mine. I actually have to take care of. So.
Of course. So if people tune me, don't talk basketball. I thought I'd chat about Marley. I know it's a real important part of your life, and I've never
Yeah.
had pets growing up, and my girlfriend has always had pets growing up. And since she moved in with me, she's had to we had to get pets. And I'm sure you could appreciate with Marley, even with the small animals, we've got guinea pigs. They have such a big personality. Even now, to see Marley doing stuff there, being cheeky. So it must be great having that company.
He's definitely like a typical boy. Like, he loves playing. He's like does stupid stuff like this. So,
and I've seen it sort of caught on in the house. Was it Travis has got goldfish? Will there be other additions to the household?
Yeah, Trav actually just bought fish. Like, he wanted a pet as well, so Trav got fish. And then Marley was on John earlier before that video, but John wasn't really sure how to deal with it, so we didn't put him on the camera.
Yeah, I think it takes time for people to be converted to animal people. So I thought I'd start the recap. I'm not sure if you tuned in at the start. We did the Lynch Trophy quarter-final draw, but breaking news, you guys are at home to Hemel in December, so that should be a really exciting draw.
Nice.
Yeah, I think it's sort of a heavyweight draw, isn't it, Hemel? Have you watched them much? What are your thoughts about Hemel?
Yeah, I watched a couple games. I watched them play Reading. Is the last time that I watched them play. But yeah, they look good. They have talent. They're a strong team. So, and it'd be good because we haven't played them before, and like we haven't seen much of them. So it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a good game, and especially like for a game that's important. I think it's about time, especially around coming that Christmas time. It'll be good. I'm excited.
Yeah. Dates to be confirmed, but it will be in December, so keep your eyes out for more information. We just did the draw almost half hour ago, so we give the admin people time to arrange the date and stuff. Obviously, this weekend you guys got Newcastle. You're both unbeaten. What can we expect from Newcastle?
From watching film, they're a very talented team. I think they have a lot of weapons where they have guys that can shoot and like really shoot. They have guys they like to play fast. They have size. So, I mean, it's going to be a huge matchup, and it's not like just any game because we're both 2-0. They have some guys that want to come make a statement. We have like a lot to protect. And, like, one of the main guys on that team is like one of my boys from Hawaii. We were rivalry schools in Hawaii, so that's going to be fun. We were talking on the phone today. Ronald Blaine, so that'll be fun to go at him again like it was last year for us, so that'll be good. But they look good, man. Young, fresh, want to play fast. Yeah, I think it's going to be a good game. It's definitely one that we can't take lightly. We have to come out with everything.
Yeah, I think
really.
you summed up well. They do seem to be a team that likes to play fast. I've noticed the last few games they do rely heavily on the fast break points, points of transition. Definitely look like an exciting team. I couldn't get anyone from them to join me today because with it being from Newcastle, mate, they're on the road already. I think they left about 6 p.m. this evening, so I don't know what time they did it to. Yeah, I thought they'd fly because the airport, Newcastle Airport, Southampton, but no, it's an overnight minibus jobby, so they might hopefully be fresh enough to play and hopefully get safe journey for you guys watching it back. And also, so obviously you guys didn't play last weekend, but what did you guys do to sort of keep up your match readiness, if it was?
Yeah, I think what I love about this team so much is that in practice, it's not just practice. Like, we honestly, like, it's like we're playing a game. Like, we play a lot of different situations, like all types of late clock situations, and it's just like a really good habit to get into where we know that every time we practice, we're competing, and we have rivalries in the team. Like, me and Ian will go at it every practice, and I think like that's kind of like an iron sharpens iron kind of culture that we have. So whatever team we come against and whoever we're playing on the weekend, I think it's just one of those things where we've been ready since the start of the week, and it was just going out there and just kind of just releasing everything that we've been working on, we've been grinding for. So it's nice.
Yeah,
It's a good culture to have around.
I think we bored Marley's off now on his flight. I'm sure he's back in a bit.
Yeah, he's got exploring.
Do you guys keep track when you're in training, like who outdoes who the most, sort of add that competitive element? And if so, who are some of like the big winners from those individual clashes in training this week?
Yeah, we well, we like last night's training, we played like pretty much like little segment of game, and it was 1-1. So, and we like wanted to play again, but we went overtime. So next week after this game, we're gonna have to like kind of who's the decider on that one. So it's kind of like it just carries on. Like we have our own competition within our weekend games, and yeah, you have like the typical matchups throughout the game. So like Trav and John will go at it. You have like Brendan and OJ, me and Ian, Luke and Dads, and then it's just like goes on like that. So it's just one of those ones where if we're on the same team, if we're not, it's just kind of like how it goes, and it's really good. It's a really good vibe because like you're always competing, so we're never out of rhythm, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, and I guess it's also a nice distraction too. Just like if you're like your muscles are aching, your mind's aching, at least you're like, I want to be Ian or I want to be, and you got that. It's sort of a motivator, isn't it? I guess. I know it's funny. I played darts with my friend, and really like yourself, we had a little competition and we drawn lines on the chalkboard and win.
Exactly.
And for like 3 years, I think I was like 0 for 12 or something really silly. And then, like by the time he's like played 6 years, I finally had like a 1 in 4 win chance. So I thought, well, I'll just rub off the last 3 years, start again. I'll probably win him, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
I'd love to get a bit more insight. So when I was doing media duties the other day, I saw, I know you guys have that media room across above where you guys play. And you got the big screen TVs, which are obviously perfect for that scout report. And I know if you play gamers, in between games. What else do you guys use that room for? Like, who's some guys who are like the best gamers? Who's sort of like the one you got to poke to wake up and diamond speaking? I'd love to hear a bit more inside tack on that.
Yeah, that room's a safe room. So obviously we have scout up there. Before practice, we always have meetings, kind of like focuses, what we need to work on, etc. Just like food for thought as we go into practice. So we kind of have a focus. But outside of the team meetings, we do like to bring our consoles in because we have 3.
Yeah, no,
there's
massive,
3
mate.
big
It's better what I
TVs
got
in a row.
home.
Yeah, you have to utilize it. So the one person who does is OJ. He likes to bring his PS4 and he will smash COD, Warzone, until his thumbs are numb. But our team we have big gamers on our team. Jonathan Lashley is very good at Warzone on Call of Duty. You have Elliot Dads and Luke Brasumbu who are really good at FIFA. And then me and Ian are probably the Fortnite guys.
And
that's probably
a big
what
question
it is.
Obviously, you guys probably do that when Jack and Matt and Co aren't talking, but do you ever think they'd play a game with you guys? And who do you think would be the best at the games out of like the Matt, Jack, and Adam if they got involved? Yeah,
So,
sort of bit.
that's funny that you say that because we just did like we had a 2K tournament and a FIFA tournament, and none of the Jack entered. I'm not sure if Adam entered it, but Jack was in it. He got bumped out real quick. So, but Matt's yet to play. I'm not sure if he can. I don't know if that's his territory, but Jack definitely played, and he probably is good. But obviously, when you play against like dads and stuff on FIFA, there's no chance. No chance.
Well, I always love learning about these things. And before you go, I'd love your take on the other fixtures this weekend. So obviously we've got Derby versus Reading, Leicester versus TBC, Oakland's Hemel. Let's start with those 3. Derby versus Reading. What are your thoughts on that? I know you said you watched Reading Hemel. What sort of game do you think that would be?
You see, I haven't watched much of Derby, but I know their roster and they look like a strong team. Like they've got size. And then Reading are good. Reece has found his rhythm, or looks like he's starting to find his rhythm in that team, which is huge for them. You know what? I think that's gonna be a really good game. I think that's gonna be a really good game between those two. I'm rooting for Reading.
So actually, your guy Reece.
I think I think Reading are gonna pull it off. I think I haven't watched too much of Derby to say, but I think Reading are gonna come out strong on that game.
Yeah.
What's the other game?
So we've got Leicester TVC. TVC obviously came second so last year. Obviously added Lewis champion. Leicester got some solid D2 guys. What are some of your thoughts on that one?
Yeah, I'm probably gonna go with TVC on that one. Yeah, TVC. I think they've got too many weapons. You'd have to try and guard across the board. So yeah, TBC on that.
Did you watch that? I thought it was a crazy shot the other week in the Lynch Trophy to obviously dictated who you guys actually played in the end. That Lewis champion. So I think it was like 5 seconds on clock. That was crazy. What were your thoughts about that when that was happening?
That's what that reminds me of one time when Lewis hit that shot for Bristol.
Yeah.
Like I'm assuming that's just what he does. So there's nothing new. Like if it missed, everyone would have said that was the worst shot they could have got, but it went in.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good, man. And he's a player, man. He's a hooper. Like he's a very good composed guard, and I think that's perfect for them. Like he's someone who's willing to pass. Like he's a great player, especially now that he's got like his family and he's like just had a kid and stuff. Like I think he's in a perfect situation and good balance where he can just take any pressure away and just hoop, and it's showing that he's just calm in those situations.
I know, yeah. I'm looking forward to see how him and his guys get on that weekend. I think Leicester have done quite well. It could be a really good game. I do hear what you're saying. I think TBC might have a bit too much weapons. You also got Oakland's Hemel, which I think is the NBL live game with John Hobbs commentated. What are your thoughts on that game?
Where is it being played at?
I believe it's at Oakland, so Hemel on the road, but they've got quite a strong team, haven't they, this year?
Yeah, Hemel are very strong. And then Oakland, they've lost Evan. But then Jordan's really good, their point guard.
Yeah, Jordan's good.
Yeah, Jordan's good. But Hemel, yeah, you got a lot to guard with Hemel, like. And especially if they're hitting, like if they're making shots, it's a long night for anyone. Like, Hemel. I'm gonna go with Hemel. It's gonna take Hemel to have a bad game and Oakland to have a good game for it to be.
Yeah, and I hear that on paper. Yeah, I think that's definitely fair on paper. Not in Loughborough, I guess you're probably aside from Loughborough, but your links there. But you also got Worthing Bart in the Lynch Trophy. What are your thoughts on those two games before we let you go and enjoy the rest of your evening?
Worthing and Barking.
Yeah, that's decided second place in the Lynch, but they'll travel all the way up to Bradford, Derby, or Milestone in the quarterfinals. The winner will play one of those three. It's a bit complicated with the Hub 3 and 4 because of COVID's cancelled a few games.
Yeah. I really like Barking though.
Yeah, I
really like. Yeah, they are good. Like, I know they're young, but they just beat Loughborough, right?
Yeah, and they took you guys all the way game 2 or game 1.
Yeah, like I like Barking a lot. Young talent. You got Varane, you got Flynn. Great. I know Flynn hurt his ankle a little bit, but hopefully he's back. But yeah, Barking are good, man. You could never sleep on Barking after we played them. You got a lot of interactive guys.
1 second, we've lost the official. I've seen back. Oh, bring up. Yeah, no, I don't think you can sleep on Barking. I was looking at a team sheet because they got the win for Loughborough, but without Flynn as well, who's obviously they're all really good players. But to go there and missing 1 or 2 players, that's a good feat. Hey, thank you for coming on. I really appreciate it, especially you guys got a game tomorrow. It's late. Thanks for coming on, mate, and all the best and good luck tomorrow.
Thank you. Appreciate it, man.
That's all right. Next up, we got Darren Paul. Welcome, Darren.
Hi there. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. I'm loving the GB shirt in the background. I'm assuming you watch the ladies this week, Don. Oh, you're hiding it now. How are you, my
Sorry,
friend? All things well?
Yeah, very well, thank you. All things are great here. Yeah, of course, watched the game on, what day was it now? It was Saturday night. We had a really entertaining live show over at, do you mind if I plug a little bit? Just take a moment.
Plug ahead.
Gotta just get it out of the way, you know what I mean? Over on the Focus Hoops YouTube channel, myself and Kaz Bullock, aka the Kaz Dash Show, did a little live show watching the game, had a couple of people in the live chat, chatting about all things GB. They were awesome. Temi Fagbenle is such an enjoyable player to watch play basketball. I can't even stress that enough. Janice Monacana, just again, continuing excellence from Janice Monacana. She, the way that she works with Temi, the way she battles for the offensive glass, it was a really physical game. It was a tough game. It was a battle out there. And you need a player like her. You need a player like Temi. But Eiley Simpson, I was talking to a couple of players this week who watched the game, and they were so impressed with Eiley Simpson. And, come on. I mean,
they also had a few
the buckets.
Yeah, and they had a few youngsters. They had a few youngsters join in as well. And I was watching it because I remember it now because it was 6 p.m. tip and there was 3 games on at the same time. And I watched the first quarter for GB and it was a bit of a shaky start, wasn't it? It took a while for us to get into our rhythm. I think that's fair to say. But I think the second and third quarter we all go as well, weren't we? It was a really good game. What were some of your highlights of the game? Because I think quite a few people missed it because of it clashing with a few other games.
Well, I mean, firstly, if you haven't seen it, get over to the FIBA YouTube channel and watch it. As soon as we're done here, don't you go anywhere just yet. Chantal Handy, she caught 5 from 3. Was it 15 points in the first half? And she was the catalyst. And we speculated in the week before, could it be her? Could it be Renee Bush, who really caught 5 from 3? And in the end, it was Chantal Handy doing what Chantal Handy does best, which is just rein it in on people. So she did fantastically well. And of course, oh gosh, what is her name? Scottish player. Riders. Made her debut. Brain is escaping me. Point guard.
They'll come to you. I find that happens.
Yeah. I know. It happens, and I'm so sorry, but she made meaningful.
It's Friday, you're okay.
Yeah, I know. It's been a week, let me tell you. Made a really meaningful contribution. I'm so sorry. We talked about her on the show last night. My major apologies because my brain is just completely faded. I'm all in the NBL right now, so my apologies there. But she was awesome. Everybody who took the floor for GB was excellent. It's a shame that we didn't get to see Sammy Roscoe, Hannah Shaw. We always want to see Hannah Shaw, representing Hannah Shaw over there.
Yep.
But I mean, Chama knows what he's doing, and it was a really, really important win. Now they just need to do the business against Belarus in February, and we'll be golden, hopefully.
I know. I was chatting to Ashley Hamilton and Marcus last night. It's odd, like it's these international circuits. They're few and far between. As we were saying, but last was February, this November, and it's again February. It's hard to rebuild them mentally. So I wish them both good luck. And I remember what you said just then about it's all NBL at the moment. Obviously, congratulations you, like myself here, as you eloquently put it the other side of the same coin with duties of team of the week. And I thought we'd start with that first. How's that been on your end doing the WNBL team of the week?
It's been fantastic. And like I said in the week, it's an honour. I mean, we are really, I don't know, I assume you feel the same, but I feel privileged that Focus Hoops have been selected by the league to select the team of the week. So obviously we don't get player of the week, though we occasionally get asked for our input, which is fantastic. And I say we because it isn't just me. It's not Darren Paul's decision. It is, let's start third person. It's all of us as a team. So from about it's about Sunday afternoon, the chat starts flying. It's like, well, who do we think? Who's had a good game? Let's look at the numbers. Who's getting those turnovers? Is that turnover ratio a little bit too high? Oh, but what else are they doing? And it's a big conversation from sometime around Saturday, early Sunday, until Monday evening. There was text in the group chat at 2:00 in the morning on Monday, going into Tuesday. Rewatching tape, looking at numbers, redoing something. We put a lot of heart and soul into it, and people aren't always happy because people think that their preferred player should have made it in. And you know what? Good. I'm glad that you go for your players like that, and that's good to have that sort of support in British basketball and all sports. We love that. But we just trust us. We take it real seriously. we take a good look at the numbers, and sometimes if we wish we could fit an extra player in there, but we've got to pick 5, and that's where we are, unfortunately.
Yeah, I echo what you say. It's a true honour to have that responsibility. I always say great responsibility comes, that sort of Spider-Man, well-treaded saying. I don't need to say the rest, but yeah, it's great. I think the first week I did it, I probably was a little bit too sensitive, and people were like, "Oh, Chris, this must be it." But actually, like you say, it's great because actually, this week's one, it was Wednesday. People still talk about the weekend. That's what we need because we're not the NBA. We don't have games every few days. It's once a week. And actually, with COVID, your team might not play from one week to the other. So if we're having those conversations still, it's all positive. So it's great. But like you say, people are backing the players. And like you say, it's really hard to make decisions. I find even if I was to make 2 teams a week, how many players I miss out. And it's great. Like I have discussions with, I've head coaches in my DM saying, "Chris, I'm putting my players in." I was like, "Okay," and I like to say I'm not a coach, I'm not a player. So I say, "Oh, tell me why you think they could be in. This is why." We have proper debates. I'm more than happy to say, "Look, I thought X player had to deal with an injured team. Yes, they lost." And that's the issue I was put to you. So a lot of people, the feedback I get, I do hear it. Team of week, because we're just given a mandate of what to pick from. But a lot of people think that players from team of week should be from losing sides, and I'd love to hear your opinion pre-doing it and during.
Do you say should not be from losing teams?
So I've had players who on losing teams make team of week. Because actually, I thought, and what do you?
100%.
Yeah, you agree? Yeah,
100%.
Yeah.
Silly. It's silly. It's annoyed me for a long time, for a good couple of years. Seen it with the BBL because I'd see a team play, and I can't think of any examples right now, but the best player on the floor was from the losing team, which doesn't sound possible, but sometimes it can be 1 against 5, and that one held their own, something ridiculous, and their efficiency is through the roof, their points are through the roof, blah blah blah. Their impact on the game was measurable, and then they're not in team of the week and they get no official recognition just because their team didn't win. And I recognise it's a team sport, but if we're giving individual awards, then everybody's on the table. Also, my team performer of the week, my team was Kohler, Solid Pride, who lost in overtime, but it was against Ipswich. It's against the top team right now, and they ran them as close as anybody's run them so far. Could have gone the other way with the bounce of a basketball. So ultimately, no. I've always thought it's a bit daft that it can only be from winning teams. I understand, but I seriously disagree with it, and I'm glad that you and I have been given flexibility from Basketball England to make our own calls.
I see both sides, but I did with my one who was the loser. I actually thought he ran the floor. He contributed to pretty much all their points, and at half time, even the most ardent, loyal, biased commentator thought the game was over. But this player actually made it a game that wasn't over. So, but I do get both sides of the coin. I do try and be great, but I actually also think that if these losing players are coming into the team, but it's showing, but actually the games are a lot closer, and I think they are. It's not like a Solent Black from last year, and it's 60-point win, but or X, Y, and Z. I see you smile there, but that was the first name we did my head. It wasn't a.
No, of course, I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah,
which is why.
Worcester
this week had a fantastic win. It was about 40-50 piece they put on Bark and Abbey. But I wasn't able to put any of their players in just because there were 6 performers in double digits. It was a really great, well-rounded team effort. There was no name that jumped off the page. And watching the performance, I didn't see anybody particularly just like, oh, you were special. It was all of it. It was the collective. So obviously they got a massive shout out in the team of the week.
Yeah, that's
team performance of the week bit.
Yeah.
But and we've got that, thank goodness, because got to be like, look, these guys were awesome, all of them. Imogen Yude was like their best player statistically from my point of view. But it's like, however, we had this situation in Ipswich Kohler. So what you gonna do?
I thought having you on was a great thing to talk about, just because we're both doing it, and there's a lot of discussion. I love discussion. I don't mind if Orla Jackman or Brendan or they say, Chris, no, I think this. That's great. I'd love to hear that. And if we all sing from the same hymn sheet, as I make the game better. So I'm always happy for feedback, always happy to have those discussions in the DMs or wherever players want to at me or however they want to do it. I'm more than happy to talk, because I love British basketball. You love British basketball. We do it for fun. We don't, as far as I'm aware, we don't really make much money for it. But if you want to buy my shirt, right here, we'll be on Always Boarding soon. But that's another matter. I'm more happy just to talk basketball.
Well, I've got to sort me some Always Boarding gear out for photo shoots or something. Maybe just me. Maybe just like a picture of my face on a t-shirt. Get Ishmael Fontaine wearing that. We'll cut the sleeves off for you, Ishmael. Don't you worry. We'll sort you out, son. It's gonna be sick.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. And Ishmael's a great ambassador for the sport.
Absolutely.
And half the reason I got you on was sort of your NBL mind, to say, like, we're the other side of the coin. You're watching a lot, like myself. When we're sitting down in our team, we either watch the game live or we're watching it back, and we're looking at the live stats. We're soaking up information, and I love to learn more. It's definitely a part of British basketball. I'm more than happy to say I'm guilty, but I don't know as much as I should about it. And obviously this weekend we've got 3 games. The audience voted for Reading and Soda to be the main game, so I thought we'd start with that one. What are your thoughts about that game?
Well, I was trying to work out initially, why is this your main game? And then I remembered, a significant part of your fan base, I suppose, is got a Solent interest, let's say. Is that fair to say? Yeah, I guess. Right.
It's interesting, because on some of these apps you can do the analytics for, and I think I've noticed some reason, so like Lidstram and I find it's either London-based, Solent-based, or London area is quite popular. I imagine that's Hemel, maybe some Worthing fans. So I know there's a few Worthing fans that live in London. But what we do with our polls to avoid that, so I noticed when I first did it was Solent, is that Solent won't be featured next 2 weeks. So that's why. But let's start with Reading, because I think they're a bit of a new fish. It's a new squad. What are some of your thoughts of Reading? Not new, but there are some new players in it.
No, absolutely. I mean, Reading, they're an interesting team this season. Obviously, over the last couple of years, they've lost a few quite important pieces. I mean, Anglia Ruskin have 2 of them right now, with Elena Palacios and Noah Sanchez Marquez. So, there's 2 big players. They started slowly. They had that strange loss. They had a big loss against Cola, 52-72. And this was before we really knew what Cola were, before we realised that, oh no, Cola are for real. And we'll get to that a little bit more later. But they had a real tough game this weekend, Reading, against the Loughborough Student Riders, or Leicester Riders 2.
I know. I never know what to call either.
I know. 64-61, like I said. And they were really unlucky in that game, Reading. Not in terms of the fact that they came up against a WBBL caliber player in, obviously, Erin Hicken, but of course as well Moncana Stone, who went off on one. What did she finish with? 18 and 25, I want to say. Was it 25 and 18? Sorry, I've completely gone out of my head just how excellent she was.
That's impressive performance, isn't it? If it's 80-25 or 25-18, that's impressive.
That's the one. 18, 25 and 3. An absolute dominant performance from Moncana Stone. So, what does that tell us about the team? Well, they're able to compete with a team that, on the whole, Loughborough, and I mean this with all respect, they are not the team that they were 2 years ago. I think they are better than they were last year, and that's great. Yeah. Progress, moving forward. I think they're going to take some games off teams. They may upset a couple of teams down their journey. They've had a bit of a slow start themselves. They've got a 1-1 record now. It's going to be interesting to see how they go. I think they're going to be bottom half of the playoff picture for sure. And it's going to be interesting to see how Reading go against them, because Reading, they had a couple of standout players. Candela Hermida Nunez, she's been a standout player for me. It's going to be interesting to see how she goes against Solent. But, Solent are looking tough. They got Christina Valky, man.
and they got the pedigree too. I think it's 3 years for. To people watching, obviously Darren knows he quite well, and it actually was a Reading Solar game, and I was there in my non-rebound duties. It was the cup final, remember? And this is typical if you see me at any Solar.
My favourite one wasn't that one. My favourite one was the London Lions. So I was commentating.
Yeah.
I was commentating London Lions along with my good friend and Focus Hoops colleague Mike Anton Morris. We were doing radio courtside for London Lions, and I saw Chris before the game, and I said, "Oh mate, great to see you." I think we met before. I don't think we had, but we've been in touch before.
We met once, I think, yeah.
And so it was great to see you again. And he's there in his rebound hoodie, and he's looking great. And Ishmael Fontaine's looking jealous. And then he sat down. And during the first quarter, I just turned around, and I see Chris, and he's there. He's got his Solent Kestrel shirt on. He's got his face painted. He's like,
I don't have my face painted,
he's just angry.
Could have done.
In my head, he had the foam finger. It was outrageous.
Yeah.
I was like, and you know, I loved that. I absolutely loved it because, sorry, I know you're trying to speak. I loved it because it was like, this guy loves British basketball. He's got his team and he loves his team, and you can't not support that. But the thing is, it doesn't come into your coverage at all. Like, I listen to your stuff, I watch your stuff, I read your stuff, and it's like, who does this guy support? I'm not too sure. Until we see you in the flesh, and you're just like, yes or no.
Oh, Rupert, my producer, but lol, true. Yeah, no, I remember that Lions game. I went in it really nervous. There's test drive, got no way, but I was like, yes, we got this. I was like really passionate. But yeah, no, when I do rebound, I really try to be neutral because I do generally support all the teams. I can't have a bad word to say about any teams. I really want them all to do well. And I tried, for me, I'm not sure, because I know you've got your football interest too. And when I came into basketball, I looked at it as a football fan. And I thought there was so much wrong. I support a small team, Swindon, where I was born. I'd go watch a third tier, fourth tier game, and I'd probably know half the team. And I wouldn't say I'm a geek, or it's just that there's so much information out there. You edit, click a button. And I was looking when I joined. I thought there's nothing out there. And like I was watching a certain game, and even my first year or half, maybe 4 months support zone, I didn't even know the players. And I thought I should be knowing the players. If I'm a fan of a club, I should be knowing players. Like they had a program. They have players there, but other than a name, how you remember that name? You're not know like Ishmael Fontaine. If you know Rutherford, Ishmael Fontaine. He's the guys cheering to the fan. You get that connection, and some clubs don't have that, but that's not particular fault. But in terms of the game needs that sort of step up to make it easy for people to have that connection. So I appreciate you saying, because I always like, try to be neutral, Chris, try to be neutral. And there's like, Chris used the test, like, yes, test no rim. But it's like, Chris used the rebound, like, I want all people to see. Yeah, no, I appreciate you mentioning. I also mentioned the Reading game, because our paths crossed, I think, the season before. No, it was the last National Cup, and you were like, oh, Chris, you're here on Kestrel duties, not rebound. And my Kestrel's jumper on the shirt. So I love it when our paths cross. And I think promoting British basketball gives us all that game. Back to that Reading Stone game. Obviously,
you made
me place at Reading. Stone, I think back to back. I think top four in the last 2 or 3 years. So they're a pedigree team. How do you think they? I'm afraid not to talk too much. I'll say how you talk about Coley. Say they're going to be a good team. Whereabouts is Solar fit in terms of the rest of the pack? Because I know you're very in tune with ARU and the other teams. Where do you think they stack up in that respect?
Of course, they've had a really strong start to the season. So they're what's their record? 2-1 record. They've only lost to Ipswich, and of course Ipswich, they are loaded. They are stacked, this team. But the great thing about Ipswich is it's an academy, and they've brought these players through slowly over time. And this is Esther Little's 3rd season at this standard. Harriet Wellham's been there for ages. So they've developed over time. They're an excellent team. So, no shame in losing to those. Where do I see Solent right now? I mean, we've still not seen all the teams, but I think we're looking at somewhere around top 4. They're going to have a big say in where the league championship goes. I don't personally see Solent winning it, but hey, if they do, amazing. Good on you. Really excited for it if it happens. But I can see them having a big say, especially in the playoffs, if we get to that point in the season. they are going to be a banana skin for anybody and could go, take it all the way up to Manchester themselves. So, no, they're looking really exciting so far. If Velke can keep her form going, and these are her prime. This is her prime years right now. She's the captain. She's leading by example. She's 28 years old, and she is performing on another level right now from even what we've seen her in the years past. So that's really exciting. You've got your American Erica Maya, D1 college, and now she's playing in D1 NBL. That's super exciting. So you've got a really great roster. Faye and Dean as well. She's the rookie. She's 16 years old.
Yep.
Her first week in the game, boom, team of the week. Don't even worry about it. So awesome performances. You've got an excellent roster. You've got a fantastic coach. You've got a beautiful facility down there. Can't wait to get down commentating at some point with John. And so again, I think another really solid top 4 finish could and possibly should be on the cards. But I think the league overall is looking better than it has done, certainly than last year. A little bit more competitive, with the likes of Cola looking really strong. We're not too sure where Reading are right now. ARU looked good. There's been a lot of turnover with Ruskin, but they've got a lot of the names and faces that the fans will know and love, and I'm really excited to get on board with. So it's an exciting season. It's very, very exciting.
Yeah, no, I got into watching the WNBL days firstly through obviously being a Solent fan, all being one complex. I could watch the ladies first with the men's, and I watched a few games otherwise. But this season, more and more games in WNBL are live on YouTube or Facebook. NTU got really good Facebook productions, really talented journalists, commentators sort of doing their spiel, and you can tell it's having a benefit just on them. They're not basketball first, they're sport first. They're like, oh, I'm enjoying this, I'm going to watch more. And they're saying that on there, and that's really good for a game. And I've been impressed by NTU. I was gutted because I was really looking forward to watch Ipswich versus Cola. There was a lot of games on that weekend, and it's fair to say the stream wasn't the best. It was a bit birdie.
No, it was choppy. It was choppy.
It was choppy, wasn't it? It was a shame.
They've re-uploaded that onto Basketball England YouTube. So if you get time, go watch it. And if you can't go watch it, watch the last 10 minutes of that game because it goes places. It goes places. It's a really exciting game of basketball. And the battle between, or the matchup between Izzy Mamudu and Esther Little. Izzy Mamudu is a problem. She is a problem for these players and these teams out here. She's excellent, and she's got a really good future ahead of her. As does, of course, Simona Henshaw, as does Molly Lavin, who, again, first time I saw her, I think it was the first time I saw her. I may have commentated her last year. Again, playing against ARU, I was so impressed. For me, she was arguably the most impressive player on the floor, except for Courtney Gray, who I think got Player of the Week, or at least Team of the Week. Just really exciting team that they've got down there at Cola. Really good game of basketball that was to watch.
Yeah, I was gutted. I had it as my game I really wanted to watch most that weekend, for obvious reasons, but also actually we had Harriet on the show the week before. She was saying how Ipswich are all a bit like the Solent of the ladies in the sense, but all but named BBL. That if it wasn't for politics of maybe like the arena size or money, they would want to be in the WBBL. And obviously, you guys put on BE, so I'm definitely watch that after this, or maybe tomorrow. Now it's a bit late in the evening. But give us a lowdown at Ipswich and Cola, because I know you're itching to tell me a bit more about Cola.
No, I mean, I think we've covered it. Like Ipswich have an incredibly strong squad. I mean, they've got Harriet Wellham, as you spoke to last week. They've got Esther Little, who's going to Gonzaga. They've got Karen Taylor Willis, who's just signed papers to go to a really good American school. I can't quite remember the name of it right now. D1 school, though. They've got Charlotte Redhead, Daniel Casey. They've got such good basketball players, and they've all developed over the last couple of years together. They are currently looking favourites to repeat as champions. They are currently champions. Co-champions, some people have said, because of the way things ended with them and Anglia Ruskin last year. So right now, Ipswich, they are the team to beat. Cola, like we say, they ran them really close. And I'm really excited to see what Cola do this weekend as they take on Nottingham Trent University.
That's a big game, isn't it?
That is a big game. But again, the way Cola play, that could cause NTU some problems. But then NTU, they've got Naomi Campbell, that's WBBL championship pedigree right there. They got Vicky Gray, who, you know, I think she could cut it at WBBL, don't you worry. Who else they got? Oh, they got Brie Ashton, who's also won in WBBL. So, you know, loads of really good talented. They've got Mandy Bidette, the American, as well. And she has a flamethrower on her. That woman can drain buckets like it's going out of fashion.
Yeah,
so, exciting times.
Yeah, I can't remember what day it was. It was the Barking Day, NTU Barking, and their shooters were on fire that day. They were mopping up, and what impressed me as well, I don't know all the names, like, you know, not as experience, but I felt like even though maybe Barking outsized them at times, like with some of the matchups, especially with Sector Voices, they had a really short guard who was always undersized in terms of matchup, but would get the rebound or get the steal. They were a hard-working team and worked really well as a unit.
Is that Nottingham Trent? Was that?
Yeah.
I wonder if that was Ines Guerrero.
I think it was. I think when I was looking, it was a Spanish player, but I wasn't totally sure for the number. But yeah, no.
Ines Guerrero is one of my favourite players to watch in the league, and I said that to her after the final that they lost where I saw you, and I was like, listen, you know, sorry about the game, but I just want to say that, you know, I absolutely love watching you play. You know, you battle and you're awesome. And she was like, thanks, I guess, you know, just lost the final here, bud. I was like, I know, I'm sorry. But no, they're a really good team. They're a really good team to watch. They seem to have recovered from losing Jackson last year. Obviously, you know, that's what happens. I'm not going to get into it on your show, but that's a shame with Americans. We have these great Americans come and they play out what is essentially the last year of their season. We saw Mads Homily last year. What a player! What a performer! And that's her basketball career done. She's going to do amazing things. She's going to be a vet in a couple of years' time. She's going to be an amazing vet, an amazing human. But I wish we could see her play more basketball and at the pro level in this country. But there we go.
Yeah, that's politics, isn't it? And also in terms of the lack of the F word, the funding, isn't it? Really, when they're saying like,
it's interesting you say politics because it's politics in the realist sense of the word, because it is home office decisions. So, which is quite interesting. If you go to a D3 college, you can't play WBBL or BBL. I think you may be able to play BBL, but definitely not WBBL.
You can't play NBL either. We had or D1. We had Jonathan Napoleon on the show. I'm not sure where he played. He would have played for Thames Valley Cavaliers in D1, but had to play for Brunel. But he then got a D2 contract because he couldn't play for NBL D1 because Powers B said, no, you play at D3 college, we don't want you. But he was constantly getting player of the week, player of the month. He was posting 40 points a game. He was making players on the floor. He looked all but name a D1 player. Thames Valley Cavaliers were like, we want him. We actually say he's one of our two Americans. So, you know, we're not much, but, you know, they're making their decision, but they want him as one of their two import players. And then be able to like, no, we can't have it. So there does need to be some change. And it's interesting that that's the same in the ladies' team too.
It's the pain of all Football Manager players everywhere, work permits, unfortunately. By the way, just before I forget, the GB player who made her debut, who was awesome, whose name I've forgotten, I'm so sorry again. Hannah Robb, of course.
Robb, yes. I think I was say Parr, but I knew it wasn't Parr. The Scottish girl, wasn't it? Hannah Robb, yeah. Well done for her. It's great to see them getting opportunities. And also, we've got one game we haven't really mentioned too much. Loughborough versus Worcester. That's the other game on, I believe, Saturday. Any thoughts on that one?
This is an interesting one because, like I said earlier, Loughborough improved from last year, in my opinion, and the opinion of Michael Hanson-Morris, who we did a preview for the season with. And, of course, they've got Moncana Stone, who played D3, who is awesome. And that's going to be really interesting because Worcester have come in. Obviously, they won D2 last year. They've come in. They battered Bristol first game. They beat Bristol very well the first game. They won their last matchup against Barking Abbey by about 40, 50 points. I can't quite remember the numbers. Yeah. They're a really good, well-rounded team. They've got good scorers. They've got Caroline Marquez, who is, I think, their standout scorer. Was she averaging 16.5 points per game? You know, that's big. That is big points. Yeah. They've got Shanice Turner, though, who is a real standout player for them. 15 points, 9.5 rebounds, you know. So it's going to be a really interesting matchup. I don't know who's going to win. It is one of my top two games this weekend on the women's side of things. It's going to be exciting. And I don't do predictions, as Nigel Lloyd will be reminded on Sunday. But yeah, don't think I'd like to call it. They'll probably maybe edge it to Wolves. We'll see how Stone goes, though. If Stone has another massive game, then there you go. I've said a whole lot of nothing there, and I apologise.
That's all right. I really appreciate having on. It was like we had the men, and I kind of like started something new last week. Then people do their predictions, but I thought actually no, like you say, I'd rather people just talk a bit about the teams. I think that's a much better way of previewing because yes, we all have hot takes, but then your name is aside to that hot take. I mean, I was and Martin Dale, who I'm a big fan of and is a big fan of the show. And I noticed on my hot takes, my prediction last week, I predicted 2 losses for Leicester, and he was like shocked face, and it was like that. And I was like, mate, prove me one. I'm like, happily prove me one. I just thought playing 3 games in a week is something too tough. It wasn't the quality team was back. They had to play 3 games 2 weeks, 2 on the road. But I thought actually I'd rather not have that on my conscience. But like, you know, get people annoyed. So that's not what I want about. I want to be promoting the game. So.
I was at a final, and I had a player overheard me give my prediction to what I thought was going to happen in those finals, and they turned around and they're like, "Oh, is that so? So we're going to lose, are we?" I was like, "Well, you know, I think it's going to be close, and good luck today." Of course, they won MVP. Of course, they were awesome. Yeah. And they won the game, and they saw me in the press conference after, and it's like, "Oh, I remember you." They were amazing. They were super nice. Yeah. Gave me an interview, and it's all been good so far.
Yeah, definitely. That's what this preview show is all about. I really thank you that you come on, giving your insights, say like myself and the other side of the coin of WNBL. Before you go, I didn't know if you wanted to plug what you've got coming up. I do try to keep track of it, but busy myself. It's hard to sort of always watch it. But I will be rewatching that Cola game.
Yeah, of course. So obviously, the Focus Hoops, we've got the Kaz and Daz show every Thursday. Kaz Bullock and I, we break down all things women's basketball from all over the world. We've just started watching the Australian leagues. We've got all over Europe, all over this country as well. So we do deep dives into games, into teams of the week. We're going to start looking over highlights, and we're going to try and make things a little bit more zhuzh, like your good self, like you do. We get players, interviews, we've got coaches, we've got great journalists come on and talk. So we're going to get you on as well once you've seen a bit more Solent Cash Tools.
Awesome. Yep.
We'll let you go full Solent as well. We'll have like Solent fans as well. It'll be good.
I'll just rip this shirt off and it'll be a Solent shirt all underneath or something. Yeah.
Absolutely. And I know it's not National League, but I'm back commentating London Lions this weekend, this Sunday. So you can check that out as well. And of course, Team of the Week. We'll be producing that, and we'll be getting the chat. The group chat will be absolutely lit from tomorrow afternoon. Don't you worry about that. I think that's all we've got going on there right now. Obviously, follow us at Awade's Touch on Twitter and Focus Hoops on Twitter.
Also, I'm quite envious you got a little WhatsApp group helping you with yours. It's just me, and I'm like, who do I pick? I'm like 20 tabs open, all the live stats, like, and I'm like, I try to do like positions, but
just text Ishmael Fontaine. Like he'll give you his opinions. Don't you worry. Actually, yeah.
Ishmael's always up for giving his opinions on here. And again, thank you for coming on. Thank you for contributing a great show. That's all from me tonight, folks. Stay safe, stay well. Look forward to watching all the basketball this weekend. Thanks, Adam, and stay safe, my friend.
Thank you. You too, my friend.